Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Thanks so much for joining us today for our first webinar of 2023. This is Jenny, and I am familiar with, I believe, all the names of the attendees who are on currently, so thank you again for joining us today. For today's webinar, we have something very exciting. We have a customer testimonial. Presenting today is our superstar designer, Mel. I believe you all know her as well, and a superstar customer of ours. We've got Jeff Holmes with OMRF, which stands for Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation. Jeff has graciously volunteered his time so we can showcase a beautiful dashboard that Mel has built for OMRF. He will give us a little bit of a background on his company, what their needs were and are, and how Mel has been able to fill those needs. And Mel will take us through these beautiful dashboards that she built for OMRF. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Mel and Jeff.
Awesome. Thank you for the great introduction, Jenny. Hope you're doing great. And yeah, hello, everybody. This is Mel Clemente, and I'd be happy to be your presenter for today's webinar, where we're going to talk a lot about dashboards, even smarter ones. So before we start, let me ask you guys just one question here for our poll today. And go ahead and pick your answer. We just want to know what kind of dashboard process you already have today. Are you using any dashboard at all, or are you interested in having one? If you do, would it be something that you want to be smarter, whatnot, what have you? So I'm seeing a lot of answers that you do have dashboards already, but they do need improvement. So I guess that's what you came here for. And all right, thank you for taking the time answering that poll. Let's get started with our webinar for today. So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so smarter dashboards with saved filters. So let's begin by talking about what dashboards are, right? It's not actually those aren't the ones that you see here in the image there, the car dashboards. No, we're talking about like a dashboard on the web page that displays real-time data for your, probably for insightful charts and reports, or just for displaying your data set, and maybe coming from a SQL database or even SharePoint list or a library. You essentially just want a central location, a central page that shows your users those data. And so the ultimate purpose of that dashboard is to present it in a clear and approachable way that you can facilitate with maybe something like a decision-making process for your users, right? And with that, you need an effective dashboard. And an effective dashboard is not only accessible, but also has great presentation when it comes to design. And that's exactly what we've built for our customer, Jeff here. This is the OMRF dashboard. And so again, not only the design though, we are more about the functionality. So we created this dashboard to make it a lot smarter in that it allows for extended search and filtering. Let me show it quick. Switch to the next slide here. All right. Okay, here. So yeah, we've got like I said, extended functionalities for searching. You've got your filtering, which shows the options when you click on the header there. And I'll show this in a live demo in a few minutes. So just a quick introduction here. We also allow sorting, ascending or descending. And one of the highlights in the smart dashboard, as we call it, is being able to save those filters out so that the next time your user goes into your dashboard, they can load those predefined or pre-saved filters and just right away, save time in seeing the data that they want, the data that they need. And we also provide this section, created this section here to allow users to even refine the results by specifying multiple filter criteria using and/or comparison operators. All right, and other cool features there's the use of modern UI. You saw just a screenshot, but when I show you the demo later, you'll be quite amazed at looking like a form that actually is looking like a web page already. So I'll show you the responsive views there by using the nav pane and paging as well, for because we want these dashboards to also perform fast, because loading a lot of data, thousands and thousands of records, might take time in some pages, when loading pages. But we need to make sure that the dashboard that we offer, or we build for our customers, perform fast, and then some debug section for troubleshooting issues later. So I guess before we hear what our customer says, let me just show you a quick demo here, so we can also get a quick feedback on what you have to say. So here's the OMRF dashboards here. Let me refresh so we can see it from start, right? So that's quite fast. Again, we're also focusing on performance. So here is a form. If you believe it or not, this is a form. This is an info path form, looking like a web page, like I said. So it opens on the requisitions there, the default. And then there's some cool UI going on. I can page through. If you notice up here, it says we have 8,381 records. That's quite a lot. And if I switch to, these are the tabs on the left here. This is the navigation pane with the vertical tabs going on. Here I switch to the specimens tab, and it has 160,000 plus records, but it loaded a lot fast because we're paging. We're only showing 25 per page, and I can show 50 or 100, whatever how much data I want to show here. And if I click on the headers here, I can filter the data set to only show research, for example, or clinical. And Jeff's going to talk about what their company is about. But this is the kind of data that they have in their organization. So yeah, that's just some cool feature there. Let me just show you one more, this refined section. So if I do his num, probably I'm going to do contains. I think I have something like 1, 2, 3, and just tab out there. And I can add another filter because we do want multiple, right? So if I do purpose equals, if I start typing and tabbing out, it's just going to auto detect that there's only one value in my purpose column, which is this one, that is equal to the first few strings that I type. If I hit apply, then I'm not returning anything because there's no record with this. I should have, let's just do purpose equals clinical. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, but let's just go back to my requisitions tab and then have Jeff talk through this now. So I'd like to maybe filter on one of their labs here. And so we're filtered down to just the data set that I want. Okay, so let's see. Jeff, do you want to talk a little bit about what your experience is so far with the dashboard? I'm sure you don't get those kind of bugs that I just showed.
Well, I appreciate you having this webinar today, Qdabra and Mel, for presenting. Yeah, so the filter that you did was on a HISNUM, and that's kind of a unique identifier per record. So I think I had taken out most of those for presentation purposes. Anyway, it's the dashboard's working great. What kind of spurred OMRF to seek out Qdabra and see if they could work their magic was really this application is built around, you can think of it as an in-lab testing center that is processing tests to, look at different issues that could arrive coming from different clinics. That is to help patients identify areas that could be autoimmune issues. As a background, OMRF is located in Oklahoma. We have the privilege of being one of the very few research institutes that are nonprofit, with attracting a lot of principal investigators all over the world to do research with us for autoimmune, cancer, Alzheimer's, aging, heart disease, any number of things that's really related to human illnesses and other areas to help discoveries that make a difference is kind of our motto to help bring about new research, novel research. So that background, we're about 500 employees that have unique, almost every group has a unique set of requirements, and that requires custom application development. Very few off-the-shelf products really meet our needs. And we needed some product that was easily adaptable. So this system has gone through many transformations over the years in other technologies. And this particular instance is where we've been in SharePoint on-premise using the Qdabra technologies with InfoPath forms. And as many are aware, we were looking to get out of that system and still support our existing infrastructure. So this is where I reached out to Qdabra to find out what they offer to preserve all the hard work and to migrate it. And we landed on using their Forms Viewer application, DBXL technology, and allowed the newer functionality that's part of Forms Viewer and their coding to support our existing forms. So those were migrated, and then we needed a new dashboard created to handle all the thousands of records that SharePoint was displaying. So this actually resolved a lot of issues for us, and we're very happy to go live with it.
It's really great, Jeff, and we look forward to you going live soon, really. So if you're rating on us, if there's anything else that we can improve, feel free to just let us know, and we do all our best to help out. Thank you so much, Jeff. And your organization just sounds so amazing with 500 users there and just continuing to innovate, right?
Yeah, it's every day something new.
I know, it gets so exciting. All right, well, yeah, thanks. Let's continue then with our demo here. So aside from the wonders of this smart dashboard, I am providing you a sample that you can configure. This is like did some magic to make it configurable, and so we want to give this as a giveaway to you guys, especially to our loyal customers out there who are in this webinar. And if you're not, you're going to see a YouTube video of this in our channel. And so, yeah, I would like to walk you through how you can customize this sample if you want to use it or adopt it in your scenario. So here we are showing a customer's and the products. So this came out from the Contoso DB that is just built around the SQL, available SQL script that is available for download out there. So you're going to see AdventureWorks and whatnot. So it also comes with a documentation. Let me go to my samples folder here. I provided a quick deployment guide here for you to follow in order to get this in your environment. Just a 4-page document here that shows you how to that you need to run these scripts to get the database in your system, some views that is responsible for sorting and that makes this form a lot performant, loads fast, and yeah, because of those views they're leveraging row numbers, and then using the migration tool to allow saving custom filters, which I'm going to show real soon here. This needs to be submitted to DBXL, so you're going to need DBXL in your site, and then the forms, then the saved filter XMLs will be submitted to DBXL into your SQL database. So you're going to need this migration tool to get the mapping and all the files needed to get it into your setup. And then let's see. So this is the DBXL admin tool showing that doc type. And then just modifying the config XML to store your your DBXL URL, your user key, and whatnot. So all those essential data so that you can port the solution to work in your site. And then just viewing it in your Forms Viewer instance and updating the resource files. And that's it for page of quick 5 steps, actually, 4-page there. And you get to experience the dashboard by yourself here. So if I go to my filters, click on here, here are my saved filters. So I did search with address having the land text. So here you'll see only 20 records, and all of these has the land word in it. So if I can just reset all here, and let's just click on the first name here, and now we'll see in the drop down we'll see all the first names that are in our system, and I can select one. Right now we can't select multiple values yet in this drop down, but I haven't actually tried if I can do it right here. Like if I go first name contains, maybe I'll do Pam, right? And then if I do another first name contains, will it return? Because this way I'm able to do multiple filters in one column, right, Jeff? I think you asked for this feature before, and let me just try something like this. So if I apply, so I'm doing crazy things on the fly, which apparently isn't working. So let me just go back to my first there. So that's something that is, that I want to try, and maybe that will allow us to do multiple filters in one column. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the or statement where it says
Yeah.
refine, I think it was an or that may have worked for you.
Good catch. Yes, let's try that. So I'm gonna do contains again here, and let's do. So I'm expecting. There we go. That works a lot better. That's what I wanted. Oh, great catch. I have never used the or yet. Okay, great. So now we see that this is working, and I can at the same time use the filters that are here, right? And we can sort. So if I do want to sort by last name descending, now we do see that sorted correctly. Awesome. Then we can reset all, and I should have saved that filter. So let's just do that in the products. Let's look at products here. It's essentially the same concept, but this time different set of data because it's querying from another table, which we created a view for in SQL. So here I'm just going to do list price because in the second drop down, we offer comparison operators such as greater than or less than or equal. So let's do maybe list price is greater than 1,000 because I'm seeing some that are less than. So let's apply. And I will see that all these are just, matching our criteria. If we do ascending, then we'll see that we don't have any entries that are below 1,000. And now if I want to save my filter, let's save this as list price greater than 1,000, something like that. Click OK. And now I'm going to, now we see that filter in there. Let's switch to my other saved filter, which is blue products. For some reason, I'm loving the color blue. So it returned all just all products that has color blue. And now if I switch to, this is a way to remove the filter. I can also delete a filter. It doesn't essentially delete that filter in your database, but just marks it as inactive. So I don't want to delete though. Let's clear. So just we get everything again, everything back again. And so if we switch back to our saved filter here, list price is greater than 1,000. And sorted ascending, it also preserves the sorting for you, just so you know. So yeah, we did get back that data set that we saved the filter for. So pretty awesome. And yeah, I actually thinking about the time here, I wanted to go through adding a new tab here for you, the orders tab, but that I have in my demo template here. If I open this, This time you'll see another tab that is orders, that is pulling from another database. A database table or a view. But let me just walk you through that real quick. Let's see. Just switch back to our slide again here. So you saw the customer dashboard. So again, to deploy, these steps are provided in the document that in the PDF that we are shipping as well. So you create the database objects by running the script. You deploy the doc type by using the migration tool. Port the sample into your environment by updating the config XML file. And then you'd update the template just with the latest config XML resource file. And then this part here, number 5, is where you want to like customize it to actually use your data, not just the sample that we provided. And let me just walk you through those steps real quick. I do have a cheat sheet here. So let's show you the view. So here's the Contoso DB that you'll see, or that comes with the package. There's the customers, the orders, and then the products. And I've already added the custom filters here where we're mapping those saved filters. So I said that, let's just go to our SQL folder here. Let's look at this guy. Open it in Notepad. And then, so to create, the dashboard actually doesn't directly query these tables. Instead, we created views that has row numbers. So it actually just has the same exact columns, right? Like the address, company, email, except each of these columns that I want to sort, I made sure that there's corresponding row number column for it. Like I want to be able to sort by company. I need a company row number for it. So there's same thing with first name and last name. I need those row numbers as well. Address, I don't necessarily want to be able to sort by, so I don't have a row number for that. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. So in order for to create a new tab, you're gonna start by creating the view for it. So you're gonna take the sample customers that we have right here. And we might go over this webinar. I was hoping it's just gonna take 30 minutes, but sorry if I'm going over. Hopefully this is useful information because you guys want to be able to modify the sample to make it work on your environment, right? So here we have that customers with row number script. So where you want to create this one, the orders with row numbers, one that takes data from the orders table. And so we start by adding our columns. We want the ID, for example. And then we want the address. There's already address. I want for example, if I want the customer ID, right, I just add it here. So any column that I want to query in my dashboard, I need to add it in the view. So this is a script. We're modifying the script to create that new view that we want to add in our dashboard. So I'm going to add these 3 guys. So I noticed before I was encountering an issue where if the column name has the same ending text, like I think this is correct. Let me just change this to order so we can get rid of these errors. All right. So, okay, great. So here we'll see payment status and then there's status. They're both ending in status. And so there's form logic to just append these guys with the text row number. And my rules are confused as to which of these it wants. So in this case, we're just going to do so change it, give it a unique name. I know it's already unique, but just making sure that the last text there aren't matching. So I'm just going to do payment stat in here. And then up here, so yeah, up here are the row number versions then. So anything anything that I want to be able to sort by, I'd like to create a row number equivalent at the top here. So I'll do, okay, something like that. Then I want to be able to sort by date field as well. I'm shaking. It's kind of cold in my office right now. So yeah, and then more date place, and then maybe we'll just give it a go. But yeah, I'm not going to go through all that process. What I have is, of course, I've already prepared for this, is a demo SQL version, right? The SQL script here. All right, this already has everything that I want, so I don't want to manually go through it one by one. So here is that where we specified a new name for that payment status column and then added all the sort columns that I want up there. And so if I run this, execute this, it's just going to create this V orders with row number column, which I already have, so I'm not going to run it. But that's the way you should go when you want to create this script from scratch, when you want to add a new tab. Okay, so this is the first step. And then the next one is to grab the sample template that we ship. It is going to be in the samples folder template, and open this guy in the info path designer. I'd love to show this to you in our forms designer, but there are still some feature that are on the works. Jimmy is working hard to add those missing features today. Things like adding repeating table on the view and all that. So when you open the form template in the designer, this is what you'll see. And the only section or pieces that you want to touch are just, believe it or not, it's just two places here. Of course, the logo you want to change with your own and your company name there as well. But other than that, the bottom section here, so you're not, all the logic here, all the rules are already pre-built for you. If we go to the filter rules, you can find it in the XDP logic filters here. Things like trigger get data. Here's where we're setting column strings, filter strings, getting the data, paging, and all that. You don't have to do all these from scratch. We're providing it in the sample already. So then what you're after is only just to add your data connections for your new tab, right? And then, of course, the section that will hold that data. So we're going to start by defining our tabs. So the tabs, these tabs here, this is coming from form logic. So if we just go to data and then resource files and then form logic, export this guy, and I'm just going to save it on my machine here. I'm just going to make a new folder, live, just to make sure I'm not confusing my files. So if we open that, just go there and open it in a text editor, right? I prefer Notepad++. So at the bottom here, we see we have the customers. So you're going to locate the tabs node. These are the tabs that appear on our left navigation pane there. We've got the customers, we've got the products. We want one for orders. So I'm just going to copy one of these nodes and then update. So I want to show orders as the display name. For the icon, I'm looking for icons and I'll provide a link for this in Google Fonts icon. So because of the wonders of Forms Viewer and Curls, we're able to use icons from Google into our buttons these days. So if I want to use like a list for my orders, right? I picked this. So here I selected that, and then I can just grab this name, right? The name of the icon there, and that's what we're showing here, right? Where you see the checklist icon. So back in my form logic, that's what I'll specify in my icon attribute there, checklist. And then for my DB table, we named it V orders with row number. And the data connection that I plan to create later is going to be called orders as well. And the actual tab will have a value of O. So I can use it in my conditional formatting in my form. So that's it. I'm going to save this and now attach it back or add it back in my resource files. All right, that's it. That's it for the tabs. And then for defining columns, all right, we'll export the XDP logic filters. So save it in my live folder as well, and then open it in text editor. So once you start doing this, you get the hang of it, it'll be easy for you to add a lot of tabs in your form. So yeah, you want to really learn about how to do this. So first, the sort column. We want to be able to sort, for example, now what makes most sense is probably the invoice number, right? I want to be able to sort by the invoice number, row number. So again, anything that you use for sorting needs to be the row number instance of your column. So I want to be able to sort descending so then I can see the latest invoice top from bottom right to top. Yeah, whatever. And then, yeah, here's where we specify all the columns that we want to query again in our database. So we want ID. So the actual column name, you need to add it in the name attribute here, including the open and close single quotation marks. So the actual column name as they are in your view. And then the friendly name can go in the column field there. So here's where I have a space now in my first name, but the actual column name is the one that is saved in my view there, if that makes sense. Phone number, for example, here. You can use symbols in here. So these names are what appear on here. Let me switch back to this. There you go. Okay, just friendly names up there. And then, yeah, for levels, I think I have level 0 for anything that I don't want to show on the view, but maybe I want to use for rules. Like this ID, you don't see it on the view here, but it's part of my query. So maybe I want to use those grids later in my form rules, right? And then all sortable columns should go here. It doesn't have to be at the bottom. You can place it anywhere, but just make sure that the level is 0 as well. And that the first item here, I need to change this to invoice number, row number as well. And yeah, let me pick that again. So I'm really feeling lazy to modify that. I already have it ready here, and I know we need to save time. So I'll just show that to you. You're gonna save it with your orders and then underscore filter logic. It's part of the instructions as well. So here's where we have that sort, and we have my columns, all the columns that I want to show. And that's exactly what you're seeing in here in my orders tab, okay? So that's it. And then once you're done with modifying the logic XML, you're just going to head over back to your designer and re-add your latest, which is the one that I have here. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. You're not supposed to just add it like that because we do need the schema for it. So I'm going to add a new data connection for it. It's going to be an XML, receive data connection, an XML document with that as our resource file. So this XML file that we just come up with as a resource file, hit next, and just leave the name as it is and leave it opening on form load and finish. So that's it for our XML. Then I think just 2 more steps in here. We're of course going to create the data connection to the view, right? We need the data to show here. So I'm just first going to save this and upload it in our Forms Viewer instance. I'm gonna call this, save it. Okay, give it a different name, and then upload it in my on a new instance here. Just check real quick. All right, so going to my latest XSN. That's the one that I want. Just giving it a better name here. All right, and placing it where it should be in this group. So this is how easy it is to publish a template in Forms Viewer. I didn't drag and drop there, but you could easily do that. So now it's up there. I'm going to open this. Of course, we won't expect to already have the orders data because we haven't set up our QueryDB connection yet. But our tab is here. We specify the icon to be that. And then if we go there, it's not going to show us anything yet, but our columns are there, right? This is how we specified it in our XML file here. Just the data is what we don't have yet, but you can already see that it's querying the view already. It has this number of records. So how do we go about adding that data connection, the QueryDB one? One technique that I found is a lot easy, is this right-clicking on this to show the debugging tools or the developer tools on the page. Click Inspect, and then on the right, you'll see wherever your debug tools pane is. Just switch to the console tab, and then this is also in the guide. Paste this one line of code here to look into the sample DB filters data source. Hit enter. So that's one of the data connections in the sample form. So we're just going to look at the query fields, the query XML that it used, including the key, right? The user key, DBXL user key, and this query XML. So this is going to save us time. We won't have to build this query string from scratch. It's already there. We just have to copy it. So I'm going to go to my form again, go to data connections, click add, receive web service, because we know that QueryDB is a web service. QueryDB with user key is the service that you want to use, so that it uses your DBXL key. I'm going to cancel out of here. I think I've already, okay, I did not. So I'm going to have to pause. I need to enter the password for my DBXL instance. Hold on, please. All right. Okay, I hope you're still with me. If you have any questions, feel free to use the question box, and make sure to get to those later here. All right, so here we have the screen to select the operation. You're interested in this get columns XML STR query operation. Click next, and this is where we enter our key as well as our query XML. So again, we have that in our developer or debug pane here. Copy the key and paste it on here. I just double clicked and hit Control C there, so, or triple click maybe. Now our query XML and paste, click OK, hit next, next again. Now we're not gonna query this on load. Our form rules are gonna query this data connection on demand. So we're just gonna give this a name. We wanna make sure that the first part of our naming is consistent, like we're using orders, right? And then for any database connection that I have in here are appended with _DB. So yeah, you'll see that. And so we're gonna name it that. All right, now we switch to it in our fields data source here, in our fields task pane here, and drag the stuff that we need on the view. I want, here it says add your sections below. So I would like to start with the row as a section. And then inside it is my row as a repeating table. So I'm just going to drag it this time as a repeating table. And then now we want to remove any row, any column that we don't want to show, which is an ID. We want invoice number. We want all of these except for the row number at the end there. So I'm just going to delete that. And then we want to change these to be calculated value. So they won't be editable. They're just there for read purposes anyway. So we want to make sure they are read only. And we can do that by changing it to changing them to calculated value controls. So almost done here. And for the dates, I do want to format them as date. So let's show them as date here so that they're, friendly format, right? Like so. Okay, I think I'm good with that. And now we don't need these headers because, as you know, these headers are controlled by, you should be able to filter. These are your headers, and no matter how many data tabs you have, you don't need to worry about modifying those headers. You just need to remove them in your repeating table. So just uncheck include header there, and that's it. One last, sorry, I get too excited. One last is to make sure to only show this tab if the user actually clicked on the orders tab, which is controlled by a conditional formatting. So I'm copying it from my product section up at the top and then pasting it on my new orders section. So I'd say if current tab is not equal to O, which we specified in our form logic, right? a while ago. It's not equal to O, then hide this. Let me just show you that real quick here in the form logic. We said that for orders, we'd like it to be O, assigned it with O, okay? So that's it. I'm gonna save it. I think that's it. So let's go ahead and upload it again. This I'm gonna drag and drop so you can see that working. All right, so here from my machine, I'm gonna refresh, and I think this is the one. So I can just simply do that and update. And that's it. So I'm gonna close this guy probably, and now we open and see what we have. Hopefully, I think that's everything that we need to do. So now we go to the orders tab, and now we have the data that we have from the orders tab. We can page through, we can filter payment status, or okay. So by the way, anything that you said, okay, I didn't actually talk about another important attribute here in the filter logic XML, can filter by. So you need to set this can filter by attribute to true if you want users to be able to filter by, for example, address. I don't really want them to, like if I do this, now it's going to show me all of the, I believe, addresses. Maybe I attached a different. So if you said can filter by equals true, what's going to happen if you click on the column on the header there? Okay, it's not actually showing us our choices. I wonder why. Let's see. So we're already seeing some bug. Let me make sure that I am attaching the correct XML here. So we're seeing here invoice number. This is the part where we troubleshoot. Okay. Customer name can be filtered by. I want this filterable. Okay. So say true, and then I don't want them to filter on the address, false. Date field, we maybe want to, maybe yes, maybe not. I'm just not gonna, but they're still allowed to like sort using those. So for, okay, let's just say we want them to be filtered by this. And yeah, I'm going to update this and save it in my live folder. Hopefully that works, or else I'm going to have some troubleshooting to do. So in this case, I don't need to update my schema because I already have all the schema that I need. I only need to add it in my resource file to update that. And let's save it. It's going to save it, give it a new name here. Live. No, live. Okay. And update. Those columns, those headers should be filterable. So I'm not sure what I might have done. So let's give it another test. Let's try it with this guy first, customers. We see those options. This is what I mean by filterable. If you say can filter by equals true, clicking on the header would show you the options that are available in the system. So that work in our products, right? And then I think I also have that in the name here, meaning the customers. So, okay, now let's look at orders. And we said customer name is filterable. So there we go. That's better. That's a lot better. It's working now. So maybe I just didn't attach the correct XML, filter logic XML, but we know that that's working. So I'm happy. And so filter is working there. And the sorting, let's try the sorting by sending. So we said payment status is also filterable. That's why we're seeing 0, 1 there. But it's already, I think. Now let's try the sending. Okay, there. And then, yeah. So now once I filtered, status should only show that one option there because there's nothing else to filter by. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I hope it didn't lose you guys in all that, and I hope that you learned. Of course, if you have a more complex solution like what Jeff MRF has, let me just show that once again for you. They have sub tabs here. They have like links that open. I'm gonna refresh because it's located in another site and I'm gonna get errors. So I have sub-tabs. You'll see them more clearly if I do this. They have links here that open the form from, the submitted form in DBXL, right? And they also have, what else? They have sub-tabs further here in contacts. They have 2 more tabs inside here, patients, others. So that's also one of the complexities. Here in the DX index, it's actually like a config, sort of a config form here now, in such a way that they can edit inline, right? They can click edit the icon and then make their edits here, and then think yeah, the submit button will appear there. I can undo and they can also delete. So yeah, something like a config form now. Add index these buttons at the top where they could launch new forms to submit new set of data for these. So that's just some complex stuff. So if you do have something like this as your requirement, feel free to contact us at support@qdabra.com. We'd be happy to make things better for you. Here's I'd like to show the navigation pane toggleable like that, and it just scrunches itself to show only the icons. And yeah, that's the error it's talking about if it's located in another site. Okay, that's all. If you have any questions, let's see. Let's look at your questions. I'm excited to answer anything from you, but it looks like you don't have any. So I think I've maybe explained my stuff clear. Maybe that's why you don't have any questions. But all right, there I have a comment from Evan. Amazing. Thank you so much. And yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any updates. I look forward to that. Thanks for the wonderful feedback. Okay, again, thank you so much, everybody.
And everyone.
Yeah, Jeff, thank you so much. Glad to have you here.
Thanks for your time. Please, if anyone has any questions, please reach out.
Yeah.
Great product. Thank you, Mel. Thanks, everyone.
Amazing.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Take care, everyone. Bye.